so get ready with me to go to the gym before I go to work. I'm gonna do a hairstyle that hopefully will last through my workout and for me while I'm at work. So first I'm gonna section off 2 little like braids here and then pull the rest of my hair back in like a tight high pony. Okay, so I ended up just doing 2 ponies because it was getting frustrating, but I think it still looks good. Okay, I'm gonna use Pixie. It's really nice toner, and I'm just gonna use it on my face. Okay, so I don't really know what to talk about on here, but I thought, you know what, maybe I'll talk about my high school experience because I graduated high school in 1 year early, so I did grade 11 and grade 12 at the same time while working full-time and part-time. So I was very busy that year, and I had this one teacher that I absolutely hated, like, with a passion. Like, I hope she is doing poorly. Okay, I don't actually wish anything bad on anyone, but she's the reason why I graduated. Like, okay, she's not, but definitely, like, a reason. I always thought high school was a waste of time. It seemed pointless to me. I wanted to go to school, but for something that I wanted to learn. So I still went to university, and I finished that as well. And I got to finish my degree and everything at 18. So that was pretty cool. So this teacher absolutely hated me, and I honestly still to this day don't know why. I missed 2 weeks of school because I was taking my first aid course, which I didn't need for my job, but it was helpful for my job. And it was the 80 hours first aid. No, I think it was only 1 week. It was 1 or 2 weeks. Some moisturizer. So when I got back, they were doing this assignment on World War II and like a whole essay you had to write. And I'm like, you know what, that's easy. I know lots about World War. She's like, here's some videos to watch. Here's some books to read. And I was like, girl, this is grade 10 at this point, and I was like, we all know what World War II is. Like, I always just thought everyone was so freaking stupid at this school. So I finished my essay in about 1 day, and I sent it to my friend who was in that teacher's class as well, but like a couple weeks ahead. So she already got her grades back, so she knew what the teacher was looking for. So I was like, hey, what do you think? And she was like, this is so good. I love this e.l.f. concealer. It works so nicely. Anyway, so then I also sent it to my English teacher because I was like, you know, I want to make sure everything's correctly spelled. I want to, you know, like I cited my sources properly, blah, blah, blah. And I sent it to her. She's like, Aurora, this looks amazing. Like, this is really good work. Like, so proud of you. And I was like, thanks. So I'm assuming I'm going to get a good grade. So I hand it in, and I get my grade back. 30 out of 60. You know, it's a good concealer when it makes you look so awake. You look like an actual crack addict. Okay, so the way she did it, though, was you send it in, she'll correct you on what you need to have fixed, and then you send it back in the next day. However, she didn't tell me anything to correct. She just gave me a 30 out of 60 and said nothing, and I was like, what the fuck? So I emailed her, and I was like, hey, what did I do wrong? How can I fix it? And she said I didn't, like, it's not the right format, and I was like, I didn't say, are you sure? But in my mind, I'm like, yes, it is. Like, it literally is. Like, I showed it to the English teacher. I showed it to my old social teacher. I showed it to the friend who you gave an A+, and it's the exact same format because it's the format we all have to follow. So how could my format not be right? So I asked her, and I was like, oh, like, what part of my format is incorrect? Like, is it my citations? Like, you know? So she ended up pointing out about 3 sentences out of the entire essay that were wrong. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I can fix that. So I went in, and I fixed it, and I sent it back to her, and my new grade, 0 out of 60. And this wasn't the first time I had problems with this teacher. Like, all teachers loved me in high school, okay? I was a good student. Like, she would send me in the hall and stuff for, like, literally anything. I, in high school, didn't have a phone, okay? I had a flip phone, and I would take the battery out of it when I was in class and just shove it in the bottom of my bag 'cause I'm not on my phone. And she goes, does anyone have a problem with being on their phone in class? And she just asked me, she's like, Aurora, do you have a problem with it? And I was like, the fuck you calling on me for? Like, I don't even have a phone, dude. It's not even, like, it's a brick. So that's what I said. I was like, I was also, like, I was confident in high school, but not that confident when it came to teachers getting mad at you, you know? It's like, shutdown mode. So I said, I was like, pardon? I was like, excuse me? Like, I don't understand what you're saying. Like, I was so scared. And she was just like, do you have a problem with being on your phone? And I was just like, I don't know. Like, I was confused. And then she went 0 to 100 real fast and was like, in the hall now. And I literally was like, what the fuck? I didn't say that. So we're in the hall. She's just yelling at me, being like, what's your problem with me? Why can't you just be off your phone? I was like, I don't have a phone. I don't have, like, what do you want? And she was like, yes, you do. And I was like, no, I don't. I have, like, and I just kept being like, what do you, like, she's like, give me your phone. And I was like, I don't have it. Like, check my pocket. I don't have it on me. Like, you know, because I was like, I don't think she understands, and I was just like, why are you yelling at me? I'm like, I'm not even on my phone, okay? And by the way, the thing she wanted us off our phones for was to watch this Netflix show, New Girl. So I was just like, look, I was just going to quietly watch it. I'm already behind on a lot of work. I didn't want to be behind on anything more. So if you tell me to watch it, I'm going to watch it. And she was just like, whatever. And then left. And she starts walking back to class. So I'm like, okay, we're going back in class now. Literally, look, I love it. Anyway, so she goes back to the class. And then she turns around and she was like, and she shut the door in my face. She wouldn't let me in. She said, you can come back in here when you understand what you did was wrong. And I was like, I'm never coming back in because I don't know what I did wrong. So anyway, moral of that sidetrack story was she already didn't like me, okay? She hated me and I didn't know why. Another time we had a different assigned seating, which was after my first day when I missed the 2 weeks or 1 week, whatever. She says, Aurora, sit where you're assigned. And I was like, oh, where am I assigned? She's like, just sit down. So I just sat down in the spot that I was, which was an empty chair, by the way. No one else was assigned to it. She looks at me, she's like, you know that's not your spot. And I was like, no, I don't. There was a desk change. I don't know where to sit, and you told me to just sit. And then she was like, well, if you get up and look around, you can see your name tag is on the desk. Keep in mind, it wasn't on the desk. It was on, like, the side of the desk, like here, underneath a ledge. So, like, I could not see it unless I went. So I went, okay, through the class of all the kids already sitting at their desk like a little embarrassed fuck. Okay, I was so embarrassed, and, like, looking under, like, all the desks trying to find my name tag, found it and sat down. She's like, that wasn't so hard, was it? And in my mind, I was like, I would have just sat there if you told me to sit there. But you told me to sit there in that moment, so that's why I sat there. So anyways, yeah, she did not like me, so when I got that grade back, I was like, why? Why did I get a 0 out of 60, you know? And I was like, I showed it to everyone else, like, I got, like, these are all the people that say it should be good, like, what's wrong with it? And she was just like, it's plagiarized. I was like, are you tweaking? Because I ran it through a plagiarized, like, thing, and 0% of it was plagiarized. I had multiple people check. I literally have a paid subscription for this thing to check. So it's like, okay, and my dad, that's, like, part of his work is helping with, like, plagiarism and stuff. So I was like, hey, Dad, is this plagiarized? Like, help me out here. So we ended up having to set up a meeting, and she was like, this sentence here is plagiarized. It says it's plagiarized from Wikipedia. And I was like, hold up. It's like, girly pop, I never even went on Wikipedia because that's not a reliable source, and everybody knows that. And I'm like, you can see that in where I cited my sources, that was not one of them. And yes, I know I could have just not put it on and still gone, but I didn't, okay? It was the fact that I didn't, and she thought I did. Yeesh. Anyways, so that pissed, oh my god. That's the part that pissed me off, is that I was being accused of something that I genuinely did not do, and no matter how many times I tried to prove it to myself, I was in the wrong. I showed her my plagiarism thing. I was like, look, it says no, like, I promise you I didn't, like, I don't know how else to convince you, like, I'll change it again. So she's like, fine, change it again. You know what my final fucking grade was? 32.5 out of 60. Worst grade I ever got, and I hate that teacher to this day. Oh, and after that, you know the old story I told before about how I didn't give her my phone because I didn't have a phone? I literally didn't have a phone to give her unless I searched the bottom of my bag and put together my flip phone because it was taken apart. When she wouldn't let me back into class, so I went down into the multipurpose room and started doing the homework because I was behind. So I started working on it. And I kid you not even a few minutes later, the next class starts, which happens to have my friend in her class. And they start texting me. They're like, oh my god, are you okay? Like, I heard what happened. Do you want me to come over? And I'm just like, come over? Like, what are you talking? I'm downstairs. What do you mean come over? I'm at school. And she was just like, oh, are you sure? And I was like, yes, I'm sure. What? So I ended up telling my friends, no, I'm downstairs. And they're like, oh, okay, we're coming. And I see my friends. And I see that little teacher. And she looks at me like scared because she thought I had gone home. And she realized I just fucked up because she goes, oh, well, the teacher was saying that you were crying because you wouldn't give her your phone and couldn't hold up an argument. So you went crying home and called your mom to pick you up. Okay, I'm ready for working out and then gonna get ready for work. But, like, are you kidding me? You are a grown-ass woman. I was, like, 15, okay? Like, what was your issue with me? I, to this day, hate you.